Austraeoh by Imploding Colon, read by Deathlight. Chapter 7, Cave. 3 hours into the early morning, and Rainbow Dash had already passed over 2 more mountain ranges. The rough topography was rather surprising to her. She briefly wondered if the map in her saddlebag was anywhere remotely accurate, for there was far too much uneven earth that she had covered. And yet she still hasn't stumbled upon the last 2 or 3 landmarkers on the east end of the illustration. What was more, the rocky peak stabbed remarkably high into the air, breaking the clouds and dismantling the moisture so that the heated bubbles of vapor gathered along the eastern slope. More hours went by, during which Rainbow witnessed rapid convection as she pierced the hot air. Sooner than she had hoped, she heard the loud rumbling filling the teposphere around her. She glanced left and right, finding herself surrounded by black, anvil-shaped thunderclouds. A groan escaped her lips as the first of several hot drops of moisture began to fall. Her wings were growing damp. The air tingled with a threatening hint of electricity. There was no way of avoiding it. She had to put her rapid flight on hold and find some cover. Gazing down, Rainbow Dash adjusted her goggles so that the clear lenses gave her an unobstructed view to the world below. Dense trees had given way to dry bushes. There was no vegetation tall or spacious enough to give her a natural ceiling. So beginning to grow desperate, she dove low and skimmed the west side of the craggy hilltops just beneath her. She studied every nook and cranny of the bouldery landscape, desperate for an enclosure that would keep her from being soaking wet. To her gasping surprise, she stumbled upon such a niche, with a grand black entrance that intrigued her like Clostridium atrium. The world rumbled loudly behind her. Rainbow could feel her coat ends standing on end. Something sparked by the queer sensation of the cold winds pierced by the hot rain. She had lost track of time, and she had briefly wondered if the summer had crept up on her. Wasting no time, she darted straight into the cave. There was a flash of bright light in her peripheral vision, forcing her heart to jump. When she stood in the enclosure, she gazed out, panting, in time to embrace the waves of vibrations, as the dipping valley below the rocky hill yelled from the storm's immensity. She gulped, breathing easier, and managed a deep chuckle. Rainbow sat on her haunches and watched as the world turned gray. The dark flanks of the overhead storm clouds dipped down to kiss the earth, and soon there was a siphonous hiss of moisture pouring over the empty landscape, as far as she could see. Her wings fluttered a few times to shake off the loose droplets, and then closed in on her sides. She had made it to the cave on time. Reveling in her miraculous dryness, she gazed at the rain-soaked world like a mare who might sit at a theater show. It was just entrancing, soothing even, and the roar of the precipitation lent her gentle heartbeats to a pleasant ambience. Half an hour passed, and Rainbow's antsy nature got the best of her. She stood up, turned around, and faced the dark recesses of the cave. She raised her goggles and blinked wildly into what turned out to be a black expanse. Marching forward, she came to a point where she was no longer gifted with the vicissitudes of daylight. There, she stopped and whistled. The echo that replied was formidable to say the least. She couldn't help but wonder just how deep the cave was. She needed light. In a practiced ritual, Rainbow Dash stood still, took a meditative breath, and ran a hoof up to the ruby lightning bolt of her neck pendant. Once making contact, she spun in psychonic circles and murmured something to the still air of the place. It took a few seconds, but a deep, red glow came to life from within the gemstone. A dim, crimson spotlight was cast before her, glowing brighter by the blink, until the walls and floor of the rocky enclosure took shape. Rainbow Dash took a double take. What she originally thought to be a cave actually turned out to be a tunnel. The red light went down the distance of 50 feet. And then the blackness once more lay at the extremities of the natural corridor. There's no telling just how deep the passage went, or what may be lurking within. It would have been very unwise to blindly trek down. Rainbow Dash smiled. She gazed behind her as the bright world turned gray with rain. With a flick of her tail, she abandoned the stormy afternoon, choosing instead to trot firmly down the dark corridor. As her hooves scraped against the polished rock, the world rumbled again. Rainbow Dash imagined the thunder was coming from below instead of above. She shrugged the thought off, adjusted the saddlebags on her spine, and quickened her descent. Hello everyone, if you're listening to this, well, if you're just listening to end blurbs in general, I thank you. But anyways, as I will always remind you, I got a Patreon and a one-time donation now open. What else is there? There's really not much to the story here. Rainbow just flying, and then it started to rain, she found a cave, which turned out to be a cavern, so yeah, there we go. I got something a bit eerie happen to me when I was editing this. Well, I guess that's why I was narrating it too, but I didn't notice it when I was narrating, only when I was editing. I'll put the little part here where I was editing and it happened, just right here. Adjusted the saddlebags on her spine. Okay, yeah, and I don't know who that was. There's no one in my apartment that sounds like that. And the creepier thing is, to me, because I do a lot of editing, there is no echo to it at all. So, and when I found it, I could hardly hear it at all, so that's what you're hearing was actually the compressed version and normalized. So I increased the volume on it. I just happened to hear it when I was editing. So, yeah, it's just a little bit creepy there. So, first of all, there's no echo, so that means, I guess along with the fact that it doesn't sound like it's coming from outside of the room at all, it sounds like that he, she, it, I don't know, was standing pretty much right next to the microphone, which is just on its own kind of creepy, but whatever. And the fact that it didn't sound muffled kind of solidates that, as well as having no echo. So, yeah, I have that now, I guess I have to deal with. With that, I will leave you. Goodbye.